we'll get started, and then as people show up, we'll let them in. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Nice to be here. It's a beautiful day. And I am just going to read a land acknowledgement before we get started. So I just want to acknowledge that we're coming to you today from Treaty 6 territory and homeland of the Métis. We want to pay our respects to the First Nations and Métis ancestors of this place. And today we do have Métis creative consultant Josie Lachance here with us today, and she is going to be talking about Meta Suites, because we all know that it changes. There are certain things that do work and then they don't work. And I know that Charlene approached me because she's out of the Prince Albert office and some of her clients were struggling with this, as well as some of the IBDS clients and Sage Hills clients. So today is a collaborative virtual training session, and I'm just going to let Jenny welcome everybody as well.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jenny Glessman, and I work with the Sage Hill Community Futures Office and the IBDS, Indigenous Business Development Services. We're glad to have everybody here today, and we'd like to welcome the PA office and Charlene. It's nice to work with one of our fellow offices. And I know Meta Suites, as a business owner myself, it's always changing. They never can leave anything just the same so that we can get used to it. Maybe that's my age. Maybe that's my age showing. But on behalf of the Community Futures offices, I'd like to welcome everybody. For those that don't know anything about us, we offer loans, advice, and support. And we're in regions across the province. There's 13 Community Futures offices. And one of the things we do are workshops like this. So I'm going to turn it over to Josie because I'm sure there's going to be lots of good information and lots of questions. So welcome, Josie.
Awesome. Thank you, Jenny and Jess and Charlene, for having me here today. I am a creative person and I assist businesses with their social media. And so I have a good background in Meta business. So I'm excited to bring that to you today. I'm definitely the type of presenter that if you have questions, feel free to ask them. I'm happy to answer. There's no silly questions. Like Jenny said, platforms are always changing. So yeah, if you have a question, please either just pop it in the chat or I think you can unmute and ask away. So with that, I'm just going to share my screen here and get started. All right, all good to go over there? Okay.
Yep, we can see it. Looks good.
Great. Okay, so yeah, Meta Business Suites. Let's save you time and help grow your business online. That's what we're here to do. And time is definitely a big one for us entrepreneurs. So what is Meta Business Suites? Well, it's a free tool from Meta, and Meta is sort of like the top, and Facebook and Instagram fit under Meta. And so it's a free tool to help you manage your business presence across both platforms. And at one time they were not merged together. So part of the plus that they have merged together, that Facebook and Instagram are owned by Meta, is that the programs kind of work better together. So it is available to you via your Facebook page and on your desktop or laptop browser. So you'll see here, this is just an example of what it would look like on the left-hand side. So you log into your personal Facebook, and then you go to the top right and you switch to your business. And then you'll see this sort of menu on the left-hand side. And you'll see this one here where it says Meta Business Suites, and that's what you would click, and that's where you're going to get to the back end to sort of post and work on those platforms. So if you're using Meta Business Suites, I highly recommend downloading the app on your phone. It's very user friendly, and I don't actually think you can use it on your phone without the app. So definitely something to add there. So why does it matter for small businesses to use Meta Business Suites? Well, I kind of mentioned this already, but Instagram and Facebook cross-platform posting. So you can connect your Facebook and your Instagram in your business suite, and you can create a post and post to both platforms in one click. So this prevents the need from having to be on your computer and say you're posting on Facebook and then open up your phone and then go and post on Instagram. You can just do this in one shot from one place, and so that makes it easy. It also has a centralized dashboard. And so you can easily edit bios, photos, like your icon photo from one place. So you can do that all through here instead of, again, going into your individual profiles and making all of those adjustments, which can be kind of hard to find all of the right places to go. So I appreciate that you can do that through here.
Josie, just a heads
Yes.
up, I think we're gonna get
I'm getting this thing that says you're requesting
yeah,
control.
so I am not, I'm just,
I'll just stop sharing.
so now I'm in twice, or now I've left.
You've left now since I stopped sharing.
Okay,
Should I try sharing again?
Sure.
Okay.
Are we
Yeah,
ready?
I was
Yeah.
starting
Yep.
to get all these notifications saying you wanted.
yeah, I let somebody in who wasn't on the list and I probably shouldn't have, but they're gone now.
Oops. Okay. Now I have to. There we go. Okay. All good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So the centralized dashboard can also show you all of your unread comments and messages, again, in one place. So sometimes it's easier to work from your computer, and Instagram is pretty much a mobile app. You can use it on your computer, but the functions are limited. So I really appreciate the centralized dashboard because I can go in on my computer and I can go respond to all the comments and I can respond to all of the messages from either Facebook or Instagram right in one place. And there's so many more things that it offers, and I can't wait to go through those. But one of them that I've highlighted here is a suggested weekly plan. So if you're kind of needing a guide of what to post or how to do it, they have this newer feature that's called the suggested weekly plan. So we'll dive into that in a bit. But the Meta Business Suite also makes it easier for teams or social media managers, even just solo entrepreneurs, of course. But multiple people can have access to it. So you can grant access to, if you have some employees that you want to be posting, you can grant them access. And the nice thing about this is that you can choose the access. So if you just only want them to have access to making a post and maybe responding to comments, then that can be it. You don't have to give them all of the admin access. So that's really helpful for teams as well, or people or business owners who want to give access to someone else. And of course, a big thing about this is that you can track how your content is performing. So they have a whole section of insights, and it's a great way for you to track your content, see who's interacting with it, how many views it's getting, and then that allows you to make adjustments for the future. So kind of just some general overviews here that we're going to dive into this a little bit more as we go. But another part is that you can schedule. So there's here you can see this is a screenshot of what the calendar app looks like. And you can see on the days here, if we're looking at May 8th, you can see, okay, look, there's something scheduled for Facebook and there's something scheduled for Instagram. And then kind of continue on, you can see what you've all got scheduled. So that's really nice because you can schedule up to 30 days in advance at one time. So tomorrow's your day. You're going to sit down and you're going to schedule all the way till practically the end of June, and then it's done and you don't really have to worry about it. So this is a really useful feature. So if you're thinking about this backend Meta Business Suite and why you should use it, well, it definitely helps you to be organized, and it ensures that your social media posts are working for you and your business, and that you're not just posting to post, because lots of times we think of, we don't have time to do it. And so we're just, okay, I got to get a post up really quick. Let's just post something to post. So this kind of removes that and allows you to kind of concentrate a bit more and have your social media work for you. So we're going to just dive right in. I'm using the Rossernon District Chamber of Commerce as an example today throughout my slideshow. So if you see that popping up, that's why I help manage their Facebook. So when you log in to Meta Business Suites, as we talked about earlier, you're logging into your personal profile, then you're clicking your business, and then on the left-hand side, it says Business Suites. So then you're clicking Business Suites, and then this is what's going to pop up. You're going to see this along with many other things, but right at the top, this is where you can connect to Instagram. So basically you would just hit this button right here, connect to Instagram, and you'll see a few pop-ups come up and it'll look something like this. It'll just say, hey, this is what we're going to access. Basically, I don't think they give you a choice if you want to connect them. And so then you can just say log into my Instagram and then hit continue. So you will be asked, so when you do go to do this and link your Instagram, you will be asked for your login information. So make sure you have that handy. And I suggest allow access to Instagram messages and inbox. Because like I said, it just makes it easier to respond to all the messages in one place. When someone messages my personal business on Instagram, I also get it through the Facebook Meta app. And I just find sometimes it's more user-friendly, especially if I'm already working on my computer. That kind of makes it a little bit easier. So we're going to go to the insights. And what are the insights? This is one of the biggest pluses, I guess, for using Meta Business Suites. And this is where you can find out how your page and its content is performing. So you're looking to increase engagement, you're going to check the insights. You're looking to check out the demographic that you're hitting. You're looking at the insights tab. There's a lot that you can sort of review and learn from the Insights tab. So I'm just going to kind of go over some of the basics. And again, if anybody has any questions about that, just feel free to let me know. The insights are a little bit confusing, but once you get to know them, I promise that they are not as intimidating as you think. So some of the keywords that you might see are reach, and that just means the number of users who can see your content. And then you have an organic reach, and that's just content that naturally appears to users. So you haven't paid for people to see this ad. This is just showing up naturally. And then you have your paid reach. And again, that's when you would be paying, or say you're creating a paid ad or you're boosting something, you're paying for that to be seen by others. And so sometimes you'll see that if you've ran a paid advertisement, you'll see paid reach, and that's what it means. And impressions it basically counts all the views. So even if it's viewed by a user multiple times, it will count. So if I see it now and then I go on my phone and then I see it again, that counts as 2 impressions, even though it was seen by me once. So basically the number of times that it pops up on someone's screen. And this is kind of how it looks here. So you'll see in your Insights tab, you'll see things like this where it says overview, and then it's your post was viewed 167 times and it reached 85 people. So this would be something where the impressions and the views are kind of an interchangeable term. And then you see those little I buttons there. Those are your friends. So if you're in your insights and you're kind of looking at this and you're trying to figure out what this all means, you can hover over that little button and it will provide you with all the details that you need to know about what reach means and what they're referring to. So this is what the Insight tab looks like. So here you can see, I've just taken a screenshot, but we're in the Meta Business Suite, and on the left-hand side, you've got all of your things, but we're going down to Insights. And again, lots of things you can kind of dive into here with Insights. You can look at things per post. You can look at them over a duration of time. You can look at your ad performance. You can do Facebook specifically, or you can do Instagram specifically. Up here on the left, you'll see there's a Facebook button. So if I hit that, it'll change to Instagram, or it'll have a drop down. I can select Instagram, and then I would be able to view the stats for Instagram. So this is kind of what it looks like. Overview is a great place to start. I'm just going to see here if I have. So you can kind of see here, if we just look at the general stats under performance. So this is showing us from April 28th to May 25th, how many views there were for this page. And it's showing me that it's up 115%. And it also breaks it down by follower or non-follower. So where are the views coming from? Well, they're coming from non-followers. So that kind of helps us to know that there are people out there seeing the content that are not following us. Okay, so maybe that's something we want to think about going forward. How do we get those people to follow us? Anyways, so when you're checking the insights and you're reviewing the performance of your posts, it's going to show you, so say this is a specific post I did, it's going to show you what the reach was, how many people interacted, if there's a link that you included in the post that you did, it tells you how many people clicked on that link. So that's helpful if depending on the type of link that you've put in. Yeah, again, just seeing sort of how your post is doing. Keep going. So another thing you can do with insights, which I find really helpful, is that you can review the times that your audience is most active, and then you can kind of post accordingly. So typically the most active times on social media is between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. and then 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. So I encourage you to think about when you're most present and engaged on social media, and like what time of day is that for you. For me, it is definitely those times, and I don't know what you guys think about those times, but I'm usually always checking it in the morning and usually always checking it in the evening. During the day, it's on and off, and I'm maybe not as invested. I'm kind of just scrolling to scroll, whereas in the morning I'm taking more time to read the post, and same within the evening. So those are things to think about, because if you post sort of midday and you're not getting the engagement that you want, then maybe it's something to think about the times. And this is where scheduling comes in really handy, and we'll talk a lot about scheduling as we go through this, but scheduling allows you to post at those times. As a business owner, you're probably not going to pop open your computer and physically post on at 8 p.m. But if you've scheduled it to go out at 8 p.m., then it just goes out on its own. And if there's any comments, you can kind of deal with that in the morning and respond to comments or messages from that post in the morning. Yeah, so I urge you to consider like what makes sense for the type of post that you're doing, and how are you going to get maximum engagement from that. So here's something I took a screenshot of from our Facebook account. So it shows you the most active times based on the last 28 days. And this is something that's really great to go back and check, and because it will always change, maybe depending on the season, something to think about. And this is under the audience tab. So when you're on your Insights homepage, it says audience. And if you click audience, this is where you're going to find this graph. And when you hover over the graphs, it actually will tell you, okay, so 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., this page has approximately 500 followers. So it's saying we have 255 followers are on usually during that time. So that's probably a good time for us to post. You can still see here though, 12 p.m., not a bad time. 9 a.m., not a bad time. 3 p.m., there's still lots of people on and it is a high time. I don't think that people interact as much during the middle of the day because they're usually popping on when they're, in a waiting room, or they're waiting for a friend for lunch, or, on their coffee break at work. So they're maybe not as engaged or willing to be as interactive during that time. So something to just play around a little bit with and test out the different times of days and see where you get the most interactions and the most engagement from, because that's really what matters. And then kind of schedule your posts accordingly. So yeah, that allows you to make adjustments for the future. You can also, under the audience tab, you can learn how to sort of understand your demographics a bit better. So we're talking about age and location and gender. And again, this is something I encourage you to go back and sort of review on occasion. And maybe it's even if your posts aren't, what's the word I'm looking for? If there's not the engagement that you're looking for on your posts, that's a good time to go back and look at your audience and say, hey, maybe I'm posting at the wrong time, or maybe my content is a little bit too geared towards a different age group than the people that are visiting my page or that I want to sort of target. So the other thing that it'll show you, and I'm in Rosthern here, and so that's why the top city is Rosthern. Most of our followers for our page come from Rosthern, but then you can see 15.4% Saskatoon, and then Warman, Duck Lake, Hague, Prince Albert, and Waltham. So it's great to see that those are on my list of where people are kind of jumping in from to engage, because those are actually the communities that I'm wanting to hit with my content. So that lines up perfectly. So this is all found under the audience tab. And I encourage you to just poke around in there. You can kind of play with some of the time frames. You can pick by day, you can pick by, a couple weeks or by month, do some comparisons. It's a pretty user-friendly once you just take some time to get to know where everything is. So we've kind of went over the insights, and they're going to come up a little bit again here. But I'm going to jump into the weekly planner. So this is something that's a bit new or newer with the Meta Business Suite. And this is great for people who maybe just don't know where to start with putting content out there onto their business Facebook page. So this is kind of an example of what it will show on your homepage. This shows up on your homepage when you go onto your to that back end there, and it says, hey, here's a weekly plan, and this is something they've created for me in my business specifically. And these are the things they've listed. They say, oh, of course they're going to say publish an ad, but that one could probably be make or break. But it says publish 10 stories on Instagram, publish 2 posts on Facebook, publish 2 posts on Instagram, and publish 10 stories on Facebook. and then maintain a response rate of 1%, which is basically just responding to your comments and your messages as they come in. So it shows that your response is good and not that it's not bad. And then visit the insights. So this is like a pretty reasonable weekly plan. The nice thing, once your pages are connected, if you post 10 stories onto Instagram, and stories are the ones that are at the top and they just go away after 24 hours. If you post 10 stories to Instagram, it's automatically going to post 10 stories to Facebook. And same with your published to, like a post on Facebook, it's going to automatically post to Instagram. So if you're someone who has both those platforms, then really this is quite a manageable weekly plan for you to make 2 posts and publish to your story a couple times during the week. So this is something new. It's found right on your dashboard, and I think it can be a useful tool. It also shows you exactly the status of each task on that weekly plan. So if you're someone that likes a list, likes to check things off the list, then this is great. If you're someone who needs sort of a push in a direction, okay, I need to be pushed to make a post on Facebook, well, then it's nice that it has sort of the little progress bars, or it says that it's completed, or even gives you the option right now, hey, like, just go create a story. So I find this can be super useful if I'm struggling to put some content out for the week. I'm going super fast. I feel like I'm talking so much. Does anybody have any questions before we keep moving?
That's a new cool feature. I haven't checked that out, so I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, and also what I like about the weekly plan is that this is achievable list. They're telling me, hey, post 10 stories, hey, post 2 posts. You could post 10 stories in one day, and then you would, so and then have 2 posts scheduled for your week. And this just feels like a really manageable checklist.
And it also kind of answers that question that we hear all the time. How many times should I post in a
Yeah.
week? So this is kind of
Yes.
telling you based on what Facebook and Instagram think. So I like that idea.
Yeah, so it is helpful, especially for people who just need a place to start. You don't have to be posting every single day if you don't want to be. So yeah, I like this feature. Definitely something to check out. Okay, well, we're going to move over into scheduling. And scheduling is the one thing that I hope if you leave this session today, you will leave here saying, I'm going to use the content scheduler, and that's going to help me, and that's going to help me to manage my social media better. So scheduling is very useful tool, especially for people who say, I don't know what to post, and I'm not creative, and I don't have any time. I'm always hearing this from people, and it's true. We burn out really fast as people who own businesses. We're doing all areas of our business. And so sometimes we don't have the creative juice, or we don't feel like we have that time. But if you put some time aside for, even 2 hours at the beginning of every month and post and schedule your content for the month, you can do that in 2 hours and not have to worry about it for the rest of the month. And then, just you can go back in when it feels natural. Hey, you made it, whatever it is that your business is. Maybe you made a new product and you want to snap it and post it onto your stories, or post it onto your main feed, and that feels organic and great at that time. But then you don't have to worry because you've still got your posts going out for the week. I always say even 2 posts a week. If you schedule 2 posts a week, at least your Facebook page and your Instagram page are active and they're moving and they're showing life. And then stories are always something that you can easily post to. And so, speaking of stories, a huge time saver is that you can also schedule your stories. And so, this is something that can be taken advantage of as well. So not only can you post the schedule your posts, but you can schedule your stories. And I can kind of explain why that's important, because your stories are only active for 24 hours. So you could post, you could schedule a story every day to go up. Hey, these are my business hours. So if you have a retail spot and you're open 8 to 5, you can just have a post that goes up on Monday. Hey, happy Monday, we're open 8 till 5. And then you post that or schedule that story for every Monday to go onto your story. And then same for Tuesday. And you can use the same image. And then maybe next month or the month after, you're switching up that image. But if you're just doing that on your story and posting that, everybody who follows you is going to see you posted that story, and it's going to say that you're open, and it's reminding them that you're open. And if they had to swing in to grab something, that's kind of now on their mind. So scheduling your story, that can be helpful in so many ways. And we can talk about that a little bit more too, but these are some sort of easy scheduling ideas if you need some sort of tips. We kind of talked about the business hours, so you can easily do this and have this scheduled to go up on your stories, or you can have this scheduled on your regular feed to be posted there. So you could post that at the beginning of every week and say, hey, these are our hours for the week. And if you're someone who has specific hours, set hours that don't change, well, that's great. You can just post every Monday, hey, we're open. These are our hours. And that's just reminding people that you're there. If you have daily specials or sales, the example I was using here is it's always Frittata Friday. And so they're always on special on Friday. So super easy for you to schedule a post whether you want to do it on Friday or you want to do it on Thursday, reminding people that the special is tomorrow, or both. If that's sort of like your big special item, then that's done for you. And you can just worry about making frittatas, and you don't have to worry about Facebook. So you can just kind of use that to your advantage if you have reoccurring weekly specials or sales that are coming up. It's easy to schedule that content in advance. You can also rotate through your services. So maybe you are a salon and you have a variety of services that you're offering, or maybe new services, whatever it is. Pick a couple and highlight them. Highlight one every week and keep going until you're done, and then start over and then rotate through them again. Just a way for people to learn more about your business, something you can create in advance and then schedule, and then it's there for you and your services are being advertised. This is also something that you can do if you have multiple businesses in your office, and you want to promote them or anything like that. Think about what you have in that list and how can I feature that. Another thing would be your products. So if you have new stock or your favorite products, feature them. You can tag those businesses, hoping that they'll promote you as well. You can add in, tips or little bits of information about that brand or that product. Even if, like maybe you're a quilt shop and you guys always have the best material. And so, hey, let's pick some materials to focus on this week. I'm going to take 5 pictures of 5 different products or materials that I have, and then I'm going to feature them every Tuesday. So between doing that and then posting my business hours, I've got my 2 posts for the week. And then if anything else sort of more organic pops up in the week and I just want to post it right then and there, then that's perfect. But it kind of frees up your mind a little bit to have those opportunities to post the more organic content, because you're not feeling like, oh, I post today, or that kind of energy. So yeah, okay. Any questions about scheduling? I kind of zipped through the scheduling part, but I think it can be as simple as you want it to be. again, use what you have, the photos or the content that you already have, and just kind of cycle through it a little bit too, um, and get some things scheduled up. Even if you got one thing scheduled every week for the next month, um, how helpful would that be? And you'll see people are interacting with it, and then that will encourage you to kind of do more. Um, okay, so moving along to advertising through Meta. So this is another area where you can take an already existing post that you have and you can pay to have that seen more, or something where you can kind of create a new ad from scratch. And so this next slide is a little bit of like an overload of information, but there really is two different ways to advertise through Meta. So you can boost a post, which means that's something you've already created and already posted on your social media. So basically now you're going back, you're saying, I want to boost this, you're hitting the boost button, and you're setting your budget and all of those things. It has a limited targeting and placement options, and it's the best sort of option if you're looking for more engagement to reach more people or bring more awareness to your business or your brand. Um, and this is really good to do if you have a post that's organically doing really well. So you posted something and it's getting likes, it's getting comments. Well, if you boost it, that's only going to continue. More and more people are going to see it. The more people like it, the more people comment on it, then more people are going to share it. So then if you boost it that extra bit and knowing that it already is performing really well, that's probably where you're going to get the best bang for your buck. Again, this is a great option if you are looking for more likes on your posts, more shares or comments. So maybe you just opened a new business, maybe you've just added a new product, maybe you have a new person offering new services there. You're planning an event like a customer appreciation event. Whatever it is, that's maybe a type of post that would be really good to be boosted. And mostly we're focusing on brand awareness and growing that brand awareness locally in your area. And then you can kind of go to the flip side of creating an ad. And so if you're creating an ad, you're basically starting from scratch. You're not using an existing post that you've already posted and created. You're kind of uploading a new image and kind of going through that process of starting a new ad. And this is good for increasing conversations with people. If you need to generate leads, if you need to make sales, or you just need to increase your traffic, like on your website, these are good. Ads are really good for that. Also running promotions, and ads are also really good for targeting people who've already interacted with you, but maybe not liked your page or commented too much, but they have shown some interest. Ads seem to be able to target those people a little bit. So when you're boosting a post, I'm just going to sort of walk through this because I do think that boosting a post can be very beneficial depending on your goals. But I'm going to walk through the process of boosting a post. I'm not going to do the ad part because there is quite a bit that goes with the ad. But we'll walk through the boosting a post. And if you have any questions about an ad and creating an ad on Facebook, we can talk about that at the end. So you're basically going in and you're selecting an existing post, and then you're selecting your target audience. You'll see here, it gives me options. So here on this right-hand side, maybe it's people I choose through targeting, people who like your page, and people who like your page and pages similar or people similar to them, or people in your area. So maybe for this example, I'm hosting an event or I have a new product. And so I just kind of want to target the people that are in, 50 miles of my shop and people who are most likely going to pass through. So because we are in Rosthern, I want to make sure I'm hitting PA and I'm hitting Saskatoon. so that those people who are driving through, they're going to see that and then hopefully stop in at my shop. So there is some logistics to that, just making sure you kind of think that through. Um, and you can play around with this. So this slider here on the bottom, when you're in the Meta Suite, the Meta Business Suite, sorry, you can kind of play with this slider, and then it'll change up here where it says estimated audience size. So as you're kind of taking it down, it'll change the amount of people, the potential amount, I guess, of people that might see your ad. So you can kind of play around with that. The other thing you can do is when you're talking about your schedule and your budget, when you're again with this one here, there's this slider. So I'm saying I'm going to do $35 and I want this to run for 7 days. So I only want to spend $35 for 1 week. So I feel like that's a reasonable amount um, of money for a 1 week advertisement. And I think it's going to be beneficial. And it's showing me here that it's most likely estimated to reach 906 people to like 2.5, 2 to 3,000 people. So, okay, well, that's worth it to me. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm probably going to go ahead with boosting this post. What you can do is you can change the days, you can change the amount of money if you have a specific goal in mind for the amount of people you'd like to reach. So these things are basically your only options for you to play with when you're doing a boost. So yeah, I always just recommend like checking off your audience and then kind of playing around with how much money you want to spend and seeing what works for you. I have personally found that boosting a post does really well. Again, on an organically well performing post, it does really, really good. So you're going to review that and you publish it. So that's basically your options with boosting a post. Again, we kind of talked about this, but it does give you these little summaries here. So it'll say, hey, we're targeting, less than 3,000 people, but about 1,000 for sure. And we think your link is going to get clicked, up to 45 times. So to me, that seems worth it. It's $35 for 7 days. So I'm probably going to go ahead with that. And so I think that that's a really good way to increase your engagement, get more likes on your page, promote new things that are happening in your area or with your business or your shop. And so when you're creating an ad, this is kind of as far as I'll go with the ad, but you'll sort of define your goal for the ad, and you'll see here it gives you a bunch of different options. So yeah, some of the options definitely overlap, but what happens with creating an ad is it's just a lot more in depth and it's a little bit more money and a little bit more work and sort of tweaking that goes into the ad. I've used an ad on Facebook for hiring. I found that was pretty useful. And also to promote my business locally. So those are some things, I'm sure that they are all beneficial. Personally, what I have done, the ads have also always worked. So definitely something to consider if you're looking to change up sort of your marketing dollars and maybe you want to try marketing on Facebook or Instagram. This is definitely something that you can look at. Again, on the back end, this is something you can do. I think this is newer as well, but you can implement a goal. So I implemented this goal to specifically grow the number of followers by 22% on each of my platforms. So on Facebook, by June 23rd, I hope I'm going to have 3 new page likes. And on Instagram, I'm going to have hopefully 11 new followers. And so this is something that I think is kind of intriguing because I can go back and track this. It will most likely send me nudges. Hey, you haven't um, got your 3 followers on Facebook. Let's work on that. And it all obviously it has this progress bar too, so you can kind of track it. And if you're someone who likes to track things and have a goal, this is something that you can consider. So it gives you some different options. And this is also just right on your dashboard. You can to create a goal. So definitely something you can think about there. Just gonna check.
There's a question here, Josie.
I was just popping open the question.
What is A/B from previous
Yes.
slide?
So I'm not quite familiar with that. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't use that too much, and if I can definitely find out for you once we exit this. But yeah, I'm not too familiar with the A and B. I've been pretty selective of when I'm doing my ads, and I will be honest, the ad campaign manager that you use in Meta is quite confusing. So I hate to say that because it probably is easier to learn than I think. But for someone like me, I'm pretty well versed in the Meta Business Suite. But the campaign manager of like creating the ads portion, um, there just always seems to be, it's just not as easy. There always seems to be these things that you can and cannot do. So yeah, sorry, I wish I had a better answer for you, but I really, I don't use that. I don't know if anybody in this webinar has ever done creating an ad and knows exactly what the create A/B test is. Um, it could be something where it's just maybe giving you an option of like, hey, we think that running an ad for this or an ad for this would be your best bet. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards, but I'm not sure, 100% sure. Okay, so yeah, so anyway, so that's implementing a goal. Again, something you can do if you're someone that likes progress bars, checklists, sort of having that there for you. So one step further, these are just kind of the last little bits, but to really enhance like your customers' experience or your potential customers or your followers' experience on whether it's Instagram or Facebook, you can set up these instant replies or FAQs for when people message your page. So I don't know if you've ever done that personally, where you've messaged another page and right away something, an automated message responds with some information. This really helps to save time and improve customer experience, like I kind of already mentioned. Um, and there's kind of like 3 popular ones that people do. So you can just do a general greeting like, hi, thanks for reaching out. We usually reply within 1 hour. Just so people know, because they've messaged you, they can see that you're online, even if you're not online, but just if you're on your phone or maybe you still have it open on your computer. So that's kind of nice. People know you're going to respond and it's not, yeah. Okay, so that's great. Another one that's really good to do is just set up an automatic message with your business hours. Hey, thanks for dropping by. Our hours are Monday to Friday, Saturdays, this, closed on Sundays. We respond to messages during our open hours, or you can also reach us at this so that people aren't expecting you to respond after 4 or on a Sunday or at 5 a.m. That's really helpful. And another one that's really good to do is just with your contact information. Hey, thanks for reaching out. We do not monitor social media messages. Please email us here or give us a call at here. Especially if you're maybe like a catering business or something, or maybe you prefer to have all of your inquiries go through your email and not have them all over your social media and having to kind of go back and find all that information. It's nice to just have that automatic response. Or you can even say, we respond to our emails faster than our social media messages, just to sort of encourage people to go that way. So this is something that you can do. I think I have this. I'm trying to remember. I thought I had put that in here. To set it up, you go into your inbox in your Meta Business Suite, and there's a button on the top right hand corner that says automations, and that's basically how you set it up. So something to think about if you don't like to respond to messages, or maybe you're a one-man show or a one-woman show, and you don't want to have to feel responsible to responding to the messages right away. So yeah, that is basically a good general overview of Meta Business Suite. So we talked about linking your Facebook and Instagram account, which I highly recommend, downloading the Meta Business Suite app, planning and scheduling your content weekly or monthly. So whatever works best for you, but I highly recommend it. I personally do that myself, and it really helps. And then when I don't make time to do it, and I don't schedule it, and I haven't planned it, then it's a little bit more stressful, and I'm like, oh, I gotta post, I gotta do that. Whereas if I just take the 2 hours, honestly, 2 hours is all you really need to put that out there, just a couple posts a week. Super helpful. Remembering to review the insights so that you can improve your future content, and to boost a post, or if you're feeling up for it, creating an ad, just depending on your goal. So I hope you can kind of see this as a helpful tool for your business, and I hope you realize that your time is extremely valuable. And as a small business owner, we want to maximize our time, and this program can definitely help you with one area of your business anyways. So yeah, with that, thank you so much for listening to me today and being here.
I just want to ask, thank you, Josie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask, I know specifically Charlene had talked about how do you give other people permission to manage
Oh,
your
okay.
page. So I've just
Sure.
clicked in here into all tools.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you click on all tools, you can see all tools.
Yeah, so
And
they've made that
is that
way more. Sorry, keep going. No.
is that the way in? Is that what you would recommend?
So I'm just gonna pop open my Facebook here, but they have made it a lot more user
Mhm.
friendly. Do you remember when it used to just be like you're pulling your hair out trying to find out where you have to allow someone or find a receipt or whatever it was?
Mhm.
Now it is all, 1 second here.
It used to be awful to try to give someone else access to your account.
It was terrible. I don't know. So let's just see and make sure that it's not still terrible.
Josie, while you're, can you get, sorry if it's loud here, it's Megan.
No, okay.
This was the one question I had also. But to me, it used to be easy, and now I can't do it. So
Oh,
if you
okay.
guys know how to do it with the yoga studio, I used to be able to do it from Instagram, and now I just need to probably message Meta, but I've been trying and can't. So if you figure it out, I'd love to know.
So, okay, wait, let me understand. Are you trying to allow access to Instagram or to Facebook?
Instagram. The Facebook worked, but I cannot get all the other ladies on Instagram.
Okay, because I think Instagram, if I'm correct, you just give the login info.
Mhm.
Okay, but then what if it's your personal? The login info would be just, it's like I have Megan Pashik, Pash Collective, Prince Albert Yoga.
Yeah, they're all separate accounts. So the Prince Albert Yoga would have its own login and password. Because if I look at my Instagram, I've got a couple of those accounts too, but they're all separate accounts. They're
Okay.
not linked together. It's just they're linked together on your phone, right?
Yes, okay.
So when you, like for the other girls, what I would do is I would tell them like, oh, here, When you go to the profile and you hit that drop down arrow and you know where you see all of your different accounts,
Yeah.
you should just be able to add Instagram account and then they can add the login information there.
Okay, I think that's a problem. I cannot find the login information for that
okay.
specific one because it just keeps pulling me back to my Meta. So, yeah,
Oh, and so maybe maybe that's a little bit more complicated
right? Yeah.
if they're
Anyways.
connected.
Cool.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys figure something out, I'll just mute myself because the
Okay,
airport's loud.
for sure.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks for joining from the airport.
Yeah, that's dedication, Megan. Good.
Yeah.
I'm
And it's the
proud
fun
you.
of being able to do it on Zoom. You can join from wherever.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just popping over here into just wanted to check. I don't know if anybody else has any other questions, but I'm going to just check on the adding people. Okay,
While
so
you're, oh, sorry, go ahead.
oh, no. So oh. Yeah, sorry, you can keep going, Jess.
Well, it's a different question, so I'm gonna wait.
That's okay.
I
See-
have with logging in, I have I'm not sure if you can answer this or not, but way back when I first started here, the Facebook page was already created. And, you know, they didn't really have pages back then. So this was quite a while ago. So when it was set up for me, so I had created a Facebook account here with my work email. And then now I have, so I didn't want to use that for my personal, right? So I have is the technical thing I have now is like there's way more you can do with all this on your phone, correct? Because doing a lot of this plan, you know, especially with Instagram, trying to get a lot of that going, you're so limited on the desktop.
You really are.
Yeah. And so now I want to go to just a one Facebook account, but everything's connected at work through my work email. Would they say anything if I had two under the same name connected? Would it be a are they
I'm
that
trying to see if I
pushy about
understand.
it?
So, because usually you have your personal profile on Facebook and then
Yep.
you just sort of create a business account and then link that. And so they should be two separate emails. So you could probably go and just change your
Like I have, but basically what's happened is I have two Facebook accounts, right? One is with my like for personal Facebook, right? Because you just add you on as through your business, right?
yeah, and
You
then you
invite
can
people
add
now, whereas it
whoever
used to like way back, I created a separate Facebook account for just to use for the work one, right?
I
Oh,
see,
and it
because
wasn't a business account, it
So-
was
And
just
it
a
was-
regular
Yes, it was
page.
just a
Yeah.
regular, like whatever, I'm not sure what it was, but then Carolyn came along and we got this all figured out and she got it switched all to the new, because it was kind of half in between the old Facebook and the new
the
Facebook
new
page.
Facebook. Yeah, I remember those times. That was a painful transition.
So I'm trying to figure out, do I just add me in? Like everything's connected though with my work email for everything, you know, all the two-factor and everything, right? And then I ran into the problem with the two-factor and it did give me an error when I tried to use it for work because I already used it for my home.
Oh,
Right?
this seems
Right?
super complicated.
So
I'm like,
there's
what
a
is
complicated
happening over
one.
there? So are you trying to get yourself added now onto the new business
Well,
account?
yes, because I want to be able to use it on my phone, but I don't want to have two Facebook me's on my phone.
What if,
Yeah, so
what,
you
can you
should-
delete it?
Well,
The old
no,
one.
because it's all connected through, like my login at work is my work email, right? For Facebook. Right? So I have two Facebooks with my name.
Oh, okay. So then what you need to do is you need to just either delete one. So you only have one and then give that one access to the to give that one access to be able to access the PA Community Futures office. Does that make sense?
Yes, so I could get rid of the work one. And would that affect, because everything's set up in that with on all our back in our settings and everything, that everything's connected to my work email, right? All the meta and everything, Instagram, everything's all
Well, now I don't want to say
You're right.
anything. I might have
That's
to like
my-
take it.
right.
You
Right.
might
This
have
is
to,
like
yeah.
I might have to.
If you want to reach out, we can chat, and I can
Okay.
probably help you just sort it out. It's just kind of easier.
It's harder
if we
to
could
do it when
share
I'm trying to.
screens and
Right.
and then
Yeah.
I can see exactly.
Yeah.
I don't want to
Yeah.
tell you to delete something, and then you're like, you
Yeah.
told me to
Well, I
delete
know,
it. Now
I
everything's
know, and I'm
gone."
the only one right now. I'm the only one with everything. So it's like, well, like.
Mhm.
So it's a
But
little
someone
bit-
was asking, and this actually might help Megan too. I'm not sure. I'm just going to quickly pop back to sharing my screen. So in here, I'm going to just maybe go backwards. Give me a second here. So I went, this is the Rosserton District Chamber of Commerce's Facebook. And so on the left-hand side here, I'm going to settings. And then once I hit settings, I'm going down to page setup. And then once you're in page setup, you can go invite people to help manage your page and control who has access to it. But another thing that I saw was down here, Megan, if you keep scrolling, I don't know if this is what you're looking for, but there's this thing, linked accounts. And so I don't know if you could maybe unlink the Instagram, I don't know, and then like try to link it back and see if that kind of helps solve some of your problems. I know that's maybe not exactly what you were looking for, but anyways, the page setup is where you find the access for who can control and that. Anyways.
Megan says she'll give that a try.
Okay. Well, you can always message me and I can try to help you and we can figure it out.
Does anyone have any other questions? This has been very informative. Like we said, the page is always changing. There's always new things.
No, I think this is great. I have a question about assets
Okay.
on there, but I'm gonna just, Josie, you and I'll ask you another time.
Oh, I think it's just where when you have so many, like just how to get rid of some of them off of your thing
No,
or to
I
adjust them.
Yeah, just
Yeah, we can talk.
I know we can.
You can
talk
reach out.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Charlene, yeah, that would be great if maybe the two of you can connect and Josie
Yeah.
can help you.
I just don't want to end up having, we did have an issue where when we did change it, that it, so.
Yeah.
I know
It's
Josie
not-
helped. I
knowing
know
where
Josie helped
everything
me
is.
great. Yeah, helped us
Yeah.
great.
Oh,
'cause
yeah,
we
that's
somehow
right.
ended up with 2 Bruno Lumber Facebook pages. My husband clicked on something and did it.
Mm.
But whatever you told me to do, I did get rid of the mystery one. So
Yeah.
It
she's good at
worked. We did
solving.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
takes a bit,
Took
but yes, it's been great. But no, thank you
Awesome.
so much. It's always so down to earth and showing us where to go, and that is what we
Mhm.
all
Yeah.
need. So that's perfect.
Mhm.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Thanks
Have-
again.
Now if they would stop changing it on us.
Mhm.
Anyway, thanks everybody. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day and have a wonderful rest of your week.
Thank you. Thanks, Josie. Thanks,
Yeah,
Charlene.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jenny.
Stop recording.